among the substitutes for Chelsea. Just about ready for kick-off. Arsenal have Raya in goal, Timber, Mosquera, Hincapié and Carafiori. Saliba picked up a knock in training, so Saliba out, no Gabriel. Mosquera and Hincapié starting together in the Premier League for the first time. Zubimendi and Rice, Saka, Eza, Martinelli and Merino. And there's the whistle from Anthony Taylor. And Declan Rice with the first touch of the match, playing the ball back to his goalkeeper Raya, who's out of the penalty area, all in yellow, right-footed. He fires it away downfield and it's headed out of play for a throw-in to Arsenal that Jurrien Timber will take. In the first half, Arsenal attacking from left to right towards the Matthew Harding stand as we look at it. The throw-in from Timber comes off Saka under pressure from Cucurella, and it's behind for a goal kick. And Pat Nevin is up here with us in the Five Live commentary position, high in the East stand. Pat, who played for this club, twice Player of the Year, Scotland international, and a great noise inside your old ground, Pat.
Yeah, and I'm happy you mentioned the noise in here, because it's not always been the case this season or last season, but since that Barcelona game during the week, and also the fact that the Arsenal fans are in here as well making a noise, this feels right. This feels like a real good top level atmosphere, and that's something that these fans haven't always brought to this ground in the last couple of years.
In fact, Chelsea have dropped down to fourth after Aston Villa's win earlier, Manchester City's last gasp-ish win yesterday that you might have been listening to on Five Live. Quite a dramatic match that, when I was making my way south, as Mosquera plays the ball back to Raya, who under pressure from João Pedro is able to play it out. Merino got there first, then Timber plays it forward, and referee Taylor has brought it back for a late challenge on Merino, and it's a free kick to Arsenal halfway inside their own half. It is now Saracens 29, Bath 29 in today's match in the Prem, and there is a big choice in listening right now. We will keep you updated on the Qatar Grand Prix here on Five Live, so be aware of that. We'll be making regular visits there as Lando Norris tries to land the World Drivers' Championship today. It is underway, and the commentary is over on Sports Extra via digital radio or via the BBC Sounds app. Cucurella in with a challenge on Saka, a crunching challenge. Looked like he took the ball, took the man as well. Referee Taylor blows the whistle. Free kick to Arsenal, 7 or 8 yards inside the Chelsea half, and Chelsea players react as though the greatest injustice has just been perpetrated against them.
Right, well, there's no injustice, because it should have been a yellow card. He just went straight into him, doesn't get the ball. Cucurella actually was noised up right at the start. Saka, I'm not saying he elbowed him in the face, but he's put his body right into him. Saka, as if, do not try and bully me today, because Cucurella can do that. Well, he's come back with interest there. Slightly surprised that the referee didn't reach for his pocket in that one.
London derby, Pat. 2 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, derby rules, you're right.
Saka, free kicks taken by Rice. Saka thought he'd won a corner down there. We know how important they are to Arsenal. And the assistant on this end, this is one of the top teams who are officiating this match, with Anthony Taylor in the middle and his trusted assistants, Gary Bezic and Adam Nunn. And Cucurella is complaining away to Gary Bezic still as they walk together, the assistant off the field and Cucurella on the field, just running his fingers through his hair. They don't get too many wrong, these two assistants.
Well, they got that one wrong, because that should have been a corner kick. We've just seen a replay of it there, but you're right, they're very good. They have to be strong in this game. And by the way, there's lots of little battles throughout this game. Cucurella against Saka is a cracker, and Cucurella won't be lacking in confidence, because he had Lamine Yamal in his pocket for the majority of that game against Barca.
Yeah, as Arsenal commits a foul on Caicedo, and then Merino throws himself to the ground as Caicedo's trying to get the ball back from him.
Again, you need to be careful for Caicedo.
Yeah.
You can't push people out the way like that. The ball's not there. If he doesn't give the ball back, it's the referee's job to give him it back. Now, the referee is trying to calm them down, but the referee usually lets 2 or 3 of them away, then he thinks, I've got to get control of this game.
It's very like last Sunday, actually, the North London derby. That had a similar feel to some of the earlier challenges, as the ball is played back by Chalobah to Sanchez, Robert Sanchez, or Rob Sanchez as he calls himself on the Chelsea video, as Chelsea play it forward through the middle, and then there is a challenge on James. That's a free kick, and the ball is played on. Chelsea were breaking away, but the referee has brought it back for the free kick, and Reece James is now saying you have to get a yellow card there, which he does to Zubamendi, hence the cheers from the Chelsea supporters. And now, of course, the Arsenal arms are up in the air because they're saying, what? A yellow card for Zubamendi, but no yellow card for Cucurella, 3 minutes ago?
Well, John, if I suggested that's exactly what's going to happen in the next few minutes, surely the players should have known that. You'll get away with 2 or 3, but the referee has to get some control back in the game. I've said exactly that, and then Zubamendi just dives in like that. It's silly. He shouldn't have done it. That is a yellow card, but then the other should have been 2.
Yeah, but that was definitely as Sanchez plays the ball out to James. It's Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0. This is our 4th Premier League commentary match of the day, and at half-time we'll bring you more reaction from the earlier matches. Chelsea with the ball inside their own penalty area. Sanchez playing it out, but it bounces off Calafiori, out of play for a throw to Chelsea. And just to underline, they come into this match in brimming with confidence and form, or they should do anyway, after winning against the champions of Spain and the champions of Germany, respectively, in midweek. João Pedro heading the ball on. Estevão into the action for the first time, but Calafiori, excellent tackle from him on the young man, the teenage Brazilian. And it's back into the Arsenal penalty area where Raya clears it out, but fortunately for him, cleared it straight to Calafiori, who was able to flick it on downfield. In the only match still underway in the Premiership in Scotland, Aberdeen have taken the lead against bottom of the table Livingston. Livingston 0, Aberdeen 1. Devlin the goal scorer earlier. Celtic 1 at Hibernian, so they're just 2 points behind Hearts now, and Rangers 0, Falkirk 0 was the final score as Arsenal play it forward. But excellent play from Chalobah. And then with the ball at his feet, he overhits that by a distance, gives Estevão no chance, and it's out of play for a throw into Arsenal.
Intriguing what his first thought was as soon as he got the ball. Lovely
Estevão.
First touch, get it to Estevão early as you possibly can. They would love to get him into the game. He's got a tough one on. Calafiori is a very, very good left full back, but again, just one of the many battles, and I use the word advisedly, we're seeing during this game.
Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0. Now the goalkeeper has had to make a save yet. Chelsea are on a 6-match unbeaten run in all competitions as Timber takes it on down the right, and he is suggesting that he might have got a decision there as Caicedo came in with the challenge. The ball was deflected off Timber, out of play for a throw, no free kick.
I'm going with the referee in that one, shoulder to shoulder, got to be a little bit stronger than that. And he's basically, the referee's giving a message out to the players, look, you have to be physical and you have to be strong, that's absolutely fine, but I will draw the line at stuff that's quite overly robust. I think he's actually got it just about right.
Arsenal playing it out again from the back, 0-0, and across it goes from Hincapié to Raya, and then turn back to Hincapié, who will again play it back to the Arsenal goalkeeper Raya. They have conceded goals in their last 3 matches after that excellent run, Arsenal, of clean sheets. 13 clean sheets in their last 19 matches. Here's Merino in the continued absence of Gyökeres and Havertz and Gabriel Jesus, but that is more of the news today. If you haven't heard, both Gyökeres and Gabriel Jesus named among the substitutes for Arsenal, as is Martin Odegaard. Arsenal, who've won 12 of their last 13 in all competitions, won 6 out of 7 in the Premier League. Chelsea's only recent blemish when they lost here to Sunderland. Arsenal's only recent blemish when they drew 2-2 away against Sunderland. Arsenal with Zubamendi, who is on the yellow card, so he's got to be careful. Here's Calafiori now with his long hair tied back, tall man, passing the ball across the back line to Mosquera, the Arsenal number 3, 21 years old, the Spanish under-21 international captain. Rice then to Merino. Merino's short pass, he's given that away. Gusto will take it on. Actually plays it infield to James, who goes further infield to Enzo Fernandez, then back towards the halfway line. Now Caicedo, and Chelsea go back into their own half. Stamford Bridge, absolute sea of faces in the stands. Can barely see an empty space. Rows and rows of faces across the 2 tiers of Stamford Bridge, staring down at Chelsea in possession. Chalobah, his pass, Gusto, it comes off him, and that runs through to Calafiori, hence the groans. And so Calafiori will have a wander forward with the ball and play it to Eza. Eza, first time touch, back into his own half, and then back it goes towards the 2 Arsenal central defenders who've seen a lot of the ball in the early stages. I'm sure that's no coincidence, as Rice, under pressure, is able to smuggle the ball to his left to Calafiori. And Arsenal, Premier League leaders, they win this today, Arsenal, they will go 7 points clear at the top of the table tonight. Saka carries the ball back into his own half with Cucurella going all the way with him, very, very tight, and it's a yellow card for that one. Well, and it is a foul, I suppose, under the totting up process.
I think he was lucky to get away with the first one. So if that's the case, don't get too tight the next time. He tried to go through the back of a player. You can't do that. It's not allowed. That's not the game. Now, I know he's going for the ball, and he is going for the ball. And yes, Saka makes sure his body's in the way of it. But it's a silly way to dive in there. Now Cucurella, who did the same actually, against Barcelona. He was rampaging forward all the way through the first half. Then he got booked and thought, I can't do that anymore. Had to stay back. Had to be more subdued. Had to be calmer. Maybe it's a good thing. He won't get caught out of position.
Well, that's an interesting one, Pat. Bearing in mind one of the first things you said about the matchups in this particular contest, Cucurella being booked in the 11th minute of the match. So that's one apiece. Zubimendi for Arsenal and Calafiori. Cucurella for Chelsea. As Arsenal play the ball through for Martinelli. Not seen him really in action so far in the match so far on his return to the Arsenal starting lineup, but Chalo was able to come across and sweep it out of play for a throw into Arsenal down the left. Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0. Very soon we're going to make another visit to Qatar, to the Grand Prix, but Calafiori.
Well, it's a long throw, isn't it, with Declan Rice here, but look at where the Arsenal players are. None are at the near post. They'll all be there soon.
Yeah, that's where they're heading. 3 of them now making their run across the penalty area towards the near post. Here's the throw from Rice, looping in there, aiming for Mosquera, headed away, comes out to Eza, pulls it down in his green boots, gives it to Saka right side of the box, shoots low, blocked by the legs of Sanchez, and actually the deflection, the save, takes the ball looping away outside the box. Saka chases it, and then Joao Pedro chasing away downfield, and he's bundled over by Mosquera, who is yellow carded. Free kick to Chelsea, yellow card for Mosquera, and an update from the Grand Prix from Harry Benjamin.
Lando Norris has pitted following his teammate Oscar Piastri, and it's going to be tight between the two McLarens, but Piastri should sail on through and head into turn 1 ahead of his teammate Lando Norris. Max Verstappen takes the lead of this Grand Prix on lap 26 of 57, but we still have another mandatory pit stop to come, and we could see more jeopardy tonight in this title fight between Norris, Verstappen and Piastri.
Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0 here at Stamford Bridge. So far the main point of discussion is who's been yellow carded and who hasn't. Zubimendi playing it forward, a little flick, must be offside. Yeah, the flag goes up, flick from Rice on the edge of the penalty area trying to set up Marino, but clearly offside.
John, you're right, that is actually the most important part of the start of this game. We're 12ish, 13 minutes in, 3 players booked. It could have been 5, it could have been more than that. The referee was lenient with them right at the start, but they doesn't seem to have learned the lesson. And of all 3 bookings, were those tackles necessary in any of them? Could they have just held off? And you can tell these players are just maybe slightly too up for it, for this inverted commas battle that I've been talking about. They need to get it more controlled, and they need to get the balls to players that can really play. Well, then we'll see a really special game.
It's 0-0, 5 Live and the World Service from the BBC. Feels like such an important match this. As I say, Arsenal with a chance to go 7 points clear tonight. How would that look? Chelsea could be 9 points behind Arsenal, but at the moment all square, and only the one chance really, that shot from Saka that was hit straight at Sanchez. It was a good opening though, good chance.
It was, and he took it with his right foot. He didn't used to do that, but he now takes the chance with his right foot.
Chelsea coming forward, and this time Eza tackling back on Reece James, who went tumbling down. That's not given as a free kick. And then on the halfway line, Martinelli is challenged and it runs back into the Chelsea half, and they have possession again. Neither Chelsea nor Arsenal nor any other London club has won the league since 2017. That is a long time since Antonio Conte's Chelsea won the title. Saka now lifting it forward, and he crucially wasn't able to lift it over the top of Caicedo, with Merino standing on the edge of the penalty area all on his own. But Caicedo is able to intercept it. Here's Rice back to Calafiori. Calafiori closed down by Gusto, and then that's given away centre field. Enzo Fernandez looks to Estevao. He's got a little bit of space over there. Hincapié tries to close him down. Estevao into the box, low ball into the area, and then the chance for Pedro Neto. He managed to find a way around Declan Rice, but then Calafiori came in and in the end wasn't able to get a shot in on goal.
Something always seems to happen when Estevao gets the ball down. And he goes in there and he always goes past the first player. He creates a little bit of space. Very lucky, eventually bobbles over to Neto, who just couldn't get any power on the shot.
As Chelsea have the ball with Gusto on the right hand side. Now Saracens 29, Bath 36 is the latest score. The home supporters now have been cheered by that latest move. Estevao giving a bit of space on the right hand side. Just really, I mean, the pass was so pure and low into Pedro Neto inside the penalty area, but Arsenal defended it well.
Yeah, some people pass the ball different from most of the rest of the players. Just a lovely moment there when Arteta got the ball, tried to actually, I think he wanted to take the throw in there to get it moving quicker. Look at how close Saka is. Once again with Cucurella. He's not holding back Cucurella. He's on a yellow, but he's not giving him any space whatsoever at all.
Yeah. Certainly one to watch. Mikel Arteta standing with his hands in his pockets. Arsenal have not lost in their last 6 visits here, remarkably. 1-3, drawn 3. Long ball from Raya. Calafiori was up there, challenged, but it was won by Fofana. I thought it was a bit of a debate who would play alongside Chalobah for this one, but it's Fofana, as it was against Barcelona. That pass, Zubimendi gave it away. Here's Enzo Fernandez, centre circle, turns, full 360 degrees and a bit more as well. Still with that white strapping on his right wrist. Back into central defence where Chalobah likewise strapping on his right wrist. Forward. Here is Estevao just inside the Arsenal half. Calafiori's tight on him, and that's deflected out of play for a throw into Chelsea just inside the Arsenal half. Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0. The Grand Prix is over on Sports Extra. Little header forward from João Pedro at the feet of Estevao. Estevao stabs it forward. João Pedro with the cross, cleared away by Mosquera. Estevao hits it high over the top of the crossbar, arriving onto it, but got right underneath the shot, and it actually landed 3/4 of the way up the top tier of the shed.
Oh yeah, he got that all wrong, completely wrong. But he was at the start of it, he's drawn 2 players together, puts it down to João Pedro. When it comes back to him, yeah, it is bouncing, but he's got to do a lot better than that. But look at the reaction of Estevao once he's put that 20 yards over the bar. It's an awful shot, right? He goes over to the supporters and says, come on, let's get behind it. Doesn't care if he makes a mistake. Get back into it, no lack of confidence, want the ball again. Because he only needs to get it right once.
Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0. That's Pat Nevin. Ball headed forward for Chelsea. João Pedro nods it in. Pedro Neto trying to get there. Timber put in the challenge. Bounces back towards the edge of the penalty area where there is Arsenal's Ecuadorian Piero Hincapié, international teammate of Caicedo, who's on the ball now. Just drags it back. Lovely piece of play in a tight area from Caicedo there, wasn't it? Just looking up, foot on the top of the ball, drags it back twice, and then finds a teammate.
That's the side of the game that you didn't really see a lot of him before, but it's growing, that part.
Ball played forward towards Gusto by James, and then Gusto gives it to Estevao, who's cutting in against Calafiori. Left foot shot, but that flies away well wide and high as well. Given time though by Arsenal there. Calafiori standing well off him. No Cucurella on Saka that.
Yeah, you really actually don't want to get close to him. He's one of those players that he wants you to be close to him because he knows that he can roll you. The speed when he turns, and he's got that low centre of gravity, is quite incredible. Chelsea players know that. They're getting the ball to him all the time. So we're talking about the battle of the two right wingers against the left full-backs is interesting, but lots more just now. There's a very intriguing one going on in the middle of the park as well, with Rice against Reece James just now. It's been a brilliant battle between them two.
Here's Calafiori. He's given the ball by Zubamendi. Passes it out to the left-hand side to Martinelli. Martinelli, no Trossard today after his injury against Bayern Munich. And then ball is cut out by James on the edge of his own penalty area, then played forward. Might have been a handball by Marino. Bounces back, but the referee had already allowed play to go. And the Chelsea fans, they don't need too much of an opportunity to get at Anthony Taylor, not one of their favourites.
Absolutely not, but to be fair, he tried to give Chelsea the advantage there. Again, the Esteval, he was miles away, he was in loads and loads of space. He seems to be getting space with far too much ease.
Here is Saka now up against Cucurella, who is tight again, and that's given away by Saka, but it bounces back for Zubamendi, whose pass is overhit over the top of Calafiori and out of play for a throw into Chelsea. Pat, I just want to come back to what you're saying about Calafiori standing off Esteval. We're talking wingers, that was your position. Just, why is it that Calafiori would want to stand off him?
I would want, when I was being marked, to be marked closely, so that I could roll a player, so I could just sidestep him, because you're right there, you're by him before he can make a move, especially if the player's taller than you. So you want to stand off him, but if you stand off him too much, he then can choose, I'll go right, I'll go left. With some players, there is no right or wrong way to do it. Calafiori is trying one way at the moment, and I'm just not sure if that's working either.
Calafiori gets up high above Esteval, heads it towards the halfway line. Ez has gone down centre field. Then Zubamendi came in on the challenge, being put under pressure by Enzo Fernandez, and just swung the ball out of play on the far side.
Did you see what Zubamendi did? He went in for a tackle and rolled over as if he'd been kicked, and realised, I'm on a yellow, I can't do that.
João Pedro over the top, now taken down by Enzo Fernandez. Crucial challenge by Timber. The fullback came across just as he was trying to pull it down, edge of the penalty area, and just flung himself across the line of the ball and took it away from Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah, but Enzo Fernandez has not had a great effect in the game so far, but I heard the line, and it's a good line about not unlike Frank Lampard. He's not saying he's as good as him, but he's now getting into those areas very, very frequently, arriving late in the box. He did it there again. Unlucky.
Saracens 29, Bath 36 is the final score in the Prem, which means that Bath have gone to the top of the table. So Bath winning what sounded like it would have been quite a dramatic match, as the ball goes back for Arsenal towards the edge of their penalty area. Mosquera plays it off João Pedro, and yes, it was. I did think that took a double deflection back onto the Arsenal man, throw into Chelsea, which they take quickly. Pedro Neto playing on the left hand side with Estevão over on the right hand side. Estevão, as he called himself on the official pronunciation video, but I think Estevão has become more the accepted way of saying his name. James back to the edge of the Chelsea box. Sanchez, and Aberdeen have won that with that 80th minute goal from Devlin. Livingston 0, Aberdeen 1. Here is Estevão now, plays it through, but Gusto can't reach that. Overhit by Estevão. Gusto actually turns, puts his hands together and clenches them, says thanks for the intent from Estevão. Goal kick Arsenal, Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0. Back to the Grand Prix, Harry Benjamin.
Lap 33 of 57, and the two McLarens have now shuffled their way back up to the lead of this race. It's Piastri ahead of Norris, because it is busy in pit lane, with the entire rest of the field having to pitch for their second mandatory pit stop. Max Verstappen, who was leading this race, now filters back out into third. All eyes now for the next stint then on the two McLaren drivers, who will have to come in again. How will this race unfold, with a championship for Lando Norris on the line tonight in Losail?
Estevão for Chelsea in the penalty area, back onto his left foot, chips it across, too close to Raya, who's able to scamper out of his penalty area and clutch it and pull it out of the air.
They're beginning to look a little bit like the stronger side just now, Chelsea. Slowly but surely, that midfield in particular. I mean, Caicedo, he hasn't given Eze a kick yet, has he? I mean, Caicedo's very, very special at that position. Everybody knows how good a player Eberechi Eze is. And Eze's now going a little bit deeper, trying to get the ball back there. But he only needs one chance, Eze. That's the other good thing about him.
Oh, Cucurella stretching on the edge of the box to head it away, and then Martinelli gets a touch, but Cucurella was able to see it behind for a goal kick. So Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0. The Grand Prix commentary, if you've just joined us, the Grand Prix commentary is on Sports Extra right now. BBC Radio 5 Sports Extra, which is on your digital radio, or you can listen via the BBC Sounds app, as you can to all live BBC radio. And a reminder that if Piastri or Verstappen win the Grand Prix today, it will go down to the last race next weekend, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, which will be on 5 Live 1 o'clock next Sunday, as Eza is pushed over halfway inside his own half by Caicedo. You can hear the Arsenal fans raging about that challenge from Caicedo, but it's only a free kick, Pat.
And he knows exactly what he's doing, Caicedo, there, doesn't he? He's not given, as I say, Eze a chance. He's kept so close to him consistently throughout this game, and one time Eze goes really deep, he thinks, I'll leave a bit on him now, I'm not going to get a yellow card for that. Very, very smart from Caicedo, and it's up to Eze to get his personality on this game as well. He's not been able to do it yet.
No, he hasn't. Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0. As then there's a foul centre field by Merino, who was in a deep position there. He's landed on the top of Caicedo, so that's a free kick to Chelsea. Yes, we were discussing at this time last week when Odegaard was back in the picture about, what does he do? Yeah. Does Odegaard come back in to the team when he's absolutely fully fit?
Can you imagine having that conversation a year ago? How important Odegaard was his understanding with Saka was telepathic. Incredible that they had that. As the managers always say, it's a good problem to have.
It is. Long pass from Sanchez, the Chelsea goalkeeper, headed forward by Calafiori, and Arsenal are back in possession on their edge of the penalty area. Remember, Arsenal have lost just once in all competitions all season. That was the 1-0 defeat at Anfield. Calafiori is dispossessed by James, and then a little tug on his shirt as James tried to take it away down the left wing. Actually, he ended up in, and that's a yellow card to Calafiori now. So that is 3 Arsenal players, Zubamendi, Mosquera and now Calafiori, all on a yellow card, and a free kick to Chelsea in a good position on the left wing.
Yeah, they've got good delivery against Barcelona the other night. Esteban was the one that was taking them from out wide areas, put a couple of great balls in, but Reece James, Neto, each perfectly capable of it. Strangely, Esteban's come over to the left wing here. I don't know why you're doing that, because you know what, mate? Your fullback you were playing against has just been booked. Put him under pressure.
Yeah, although he's been sent away, Esteban, to take up a position. James it was. Pedro Neto takes it in, comes off an Arsenal head and bounces away over there into the Arsenal left back position, where it's taken up by João Pedro, coming back into the team. It was an unused substitute against Barcelona on Tuesday. He's up against Calafiori now, leading him a merry dance, and Calafiori is able to get a toe in on it, which referee Taylor says took a touch off João Pedro on the way behind for a goal kick.
Sometimes you look at the body language, and I think he probably got that right.
He did. He got it right.
I can read these players.
Referee Taylor. That's a special mention for Jamie from Rotherham and his brother Oliver, who, as we discovered on the Commentators View podcast this week, between them, these 2 brothers from Rotherham love it when I refer to the referee as Referee Taylor, or whoever it is. So that's especially for them. Doing special requests now, Pat. Sanchez clearing the ball away on the edge of the penalty area, straight out of play for a throw-in on the halfway line. So a game of few chances really so far, with almost half an hour played. The shot from Saka that was straight at Sanchez, saved it with his legs, and the opportunity for Esteban that he hit high over the bar.
Yeah, to be honest, tactically it's been interesting. I mean, just watching Reece James had a very good game, but just because he stopped Declan Rice playing, absolutely stopped him playing, and all the way through it, Eze, what's he going to do? Well, he's not going to kick against Caicedo. So it's the defensive players that are winning it at the moment.
Well, it's frustration because Arsenal have taken such a long time to take this throw in, and the 4th official was involved, so was Enzo Maresca. Something was being said down there. Timber was waiting to take it, and in the end I think he stepped onto the pitch and committed a foul throw.
Apart from anything else with Timber, it seemed a wee touch of arrogance the way he was acting there. You know, he's letting the ball bounce off him. It was going off at Maresca, etc. Just another little bit of petulance that's not really needed just now.
4 yellow cards so far. Boring Arsenal is the song from the Chelsea supporters.
That's one of the very old songbook.
Yes, it is. There's flicked on your playing days. Oh, Hincapié could be caught. He is. João Pedro's in. Defenders coming back. Calafiori got a touch. Now it's played across, but way beyond anyone else. Pedro Neto's going to get there. He does. Just gets there first. Oh, that was a scary moment as then Enzo Fernandez goes past Timber, then goes down, and referee Taylor does not give a free kick to Chelsea when the Chelsea man went past him and dropped to the turf.
It's one of those ones where referee, there's 2 choices there. You either give a free kick or else you give a yellow card for diving. It's that obvious. He did neither of them. He just let the play go on.
Mind you, might come back to it, might revisit that. If he shows a yellow card to Enzo Fernandez and then the whistle does now go,
I think he'll probably be waiting for a little bit of advice in his ear, don't you think?
Possibly. As he's just indicating here that it is a free kick and play will go. Hang on a minute. As he's just spotted a little bit of something going on between Zubimendi and Enzo Fernandez.
Do you know, because of the teams have set up very, very similar systems, it's killing the game a wee bit because everybody knows where everybody else is. No one's playing in half positions, nobody's changing, no one's moving. Everyone knows who the man is, so you can keep tight to him. You look around the pitch just now, they're just doubled up the whole way through it. Somebody, if they want to win this game, is going to have to do something different.
Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0. Going to make a visit to the Grand Prix again in a moment, but now Calafiori on the halfway line up towards Saka in a central position, under pressure from Cucurella. Excellent defending. In the end, Saka back heeled it, but Chelsea cleared it to Gusto now. Arsenal have committed men downfield. Estevao against Hincapié. He's into the box now. Estevao still going, flicks it back. Enzo Fernandez with a shot, but it's saved by Raya, able to clutch it as he moves to his right. Just didn't extend him at all, really. And Arsenal quickly get it going downfield. Merino, Gusto out of play. Arsenal throw on the halfway line, and it is back to Harry Benjamin for the latest on the Qatar Grand Prix.
That 39-57, Piastri leads Lando Norris, who just had a almost almighty crash, managed to save it, but lost time and is struggling for pace out there, with both McLarens still to do a pit stop. Max Verstappen is lurking and is very much in contention for the win tonight in Qatar.
Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0. Grand Prix commentary on Sports Extra. Pat Nevin with me here at Stamford Bridge on this chill Sunday afternoon as it's given away, played forward by Caicedo to João Pedro just outside the penalty area. In comes the challenge on him, he goes down, but a good challenge it is by Merino, and then up to Saka near the halfway line, and he is fouled, and that's a free kick. And now we've got players milling around next to the referee.
Come on, John, Cucurella, that's his game. He likes to get close, but that's about 5-6 fouls now on the same player, Saka. Saka saying exactly that to the referee.
As the captain.
How many times is he allowed to foul me? And it's because he's that tight. And in the end, it's not a nasty foul or anything, but in the old totting up process, Cucurella must be getting quite close to a second one, because it's a tangle of legs, but you're going to get that if you get too close. He knows what he's doing.
If Cucurella got sent off in this match, that is massive.
It is.
Well,
change everything.
Chelsea would send men, but to lose him as well against Saka, and I think interesting, eventually Anthony Taylor sent all of the players away, apart from the 2 captains. He was doing all the talking to Reece James there. Saka was standing there, and clearly, I don't think you have to be a lip reader to work out that he's telling Reece James that Cucurella has got to be very, very careful. The warning there could not be clearer for what continued fouling might mean for Cucurella. Arsenal, and then Caicedo is in on Merino. The ball runs free. Anthony Taylor waves Arsenal to play on. Ball from the left-hand side from Martinelli. That was cut out by Fofana. Comes back to the Arsenal man, who allows it to run over the line. And now referee Taylor is going to come back to the scene of that challenge from Caicedo on Merino, which has actually seen Caicedo stay on the ground as well. So both players are down, and the the physios are waved on, but I suspect...
I thought Caicedo, first view, and we're going to see another view, but I'll jump in before I say the second view. It looked like a bad foul by Caicedo.
Yeah,
it
I would
really
agree with
did.
that.
It looked like a yellow card was absolutely necessary on Caicedo. But I mean, if he's acting there, he's a good actor. He should be in the RSC, that lad, because he's in a lot of pain just now. So, that's horrible.
Yeah,
Do you know what?
It's late.
John, I like the calmness in your voice. They'll be looking at it as a possible red card.
Yeah, they will.
They will.
They will. And do you know? I think they'll just hold off on that. Just think because it's just marginally late. He's not gone in with a straight leg. It's a slightly bent leg, but he has caught him with the underside of his boot on his ankle, on Marino's ankle.
Okay, I was watching a game last night, the Copa Libertadores final, a very, very similar one last night, and I couldn't believe the referee didn't go for the red card. Well, this is similar, and Caicedo, I mean, utterly minimum yellow. I mean, as in dark orange. We're talking very close to red, and if it is a red, you're not going to have much of an argument.
Yeah.
The thing is, the referee and the VR people have had plenty of time. And by the way, look at the way the referee's circling the area.
Caicedo, he's just getting to his feet, and there's no indication here that he's going to be sent to a... Well, I mean, he hasn't made his decision yet, actually, of course, in terms of what card it will be. And Caicedo, Marino's still on the ground, so we'll have to see if he's able to continue, and he is being helped to his feet now, the Arsenal man who really has played as a midfielder in this match, Marino. And now let's see, Caicedo is on his feet, Anthony Taylor is there. It's a yellow card comes out from Anthony Taylor. I do feel that is the right decision. I know you.
Right, I think
he's got away with that.
He's got away with that there. There were times when, you're that
late.
No,
hang on.
I don't think he can get away with that.
VAR have said, now that Anthony Taylor has made his decision and shown the yellow card, they are saying, the video assistant referee, who is John Brooks today, has immediately said to Anthony Taylor, come and have a look at this. We think this is a red card.
Well, from the first time I saw it, I thought it was a red card. He's out of control, the ball's well away, the foot's planted. It's awful.
Yeah,
it's absolutely
it's a straighter leg.
awful.
No, actually, when you see it again from the
it
other
doesn't
angle.
have a straight leg, the ball's miles away, his foot is planted, that can break your ankle. Right, okay, Caicedo, if he gets away with this, he's
not
extraordinarily lucky.
I think it's unlikely to get away with this now that Anthony Taylor's been called across. So this is a big moment now. And bear in mind, in the context of the match that we've seen here, which has been littered with, 4 yellow cards so far, and Cucurella is really treading a dangerous line as regards a second yellow against Saka. And now, well, the discussion is over. Here comes Anthony Taylor. There is the rectangle. The Arsenal fans know what this means. This is going to become a red card for Caicedo. And they're giving them the big wind-up.
Chelsea 25 makes a challenge with excessive force. Therefore, my final decision is red card.
Anthony Taylor now, on the advice of the video assistant referee, has upgraded the yellow to a red card, and Chelsea's pivotal midfielder, Moises Caicedo, is sent off in the 38th minute of the match. And Reece James, as the Chelsea captain, is going across there to speak to him, and he's ushering away Enzo Fernandez. He's saying, as the captain, I'm going to speak to the referee. Doesn't matter, decision's made, Chelsea are down to 10 men.
Yeah, down to 10 men. I think we had a wee bit of disagreement there. Not for a millisecond, do I think, but only because, as a player, when that happens to you, and someone comes through like that, at that sort of pace, you know how dangerous that is. You know how close that is to, a season-ending injury. And I'm not saying for a second Caicedo meant it, but it was excessive force. He was late, and the control wasn't there. All the reasons you give a red card, tick, tick, tick.
And that, Pat, is Chelsea's 7th red card of the season, if you include one that was shown to Enzo Maresca as the manager. So 7, 6 of which have been for players, and the discipline issue is going to rear its head again.
It is. I mean, a lot of those ones were, some of them were unlucky, I have to say. There were technical fouls and things like that. However, that is, that's it. And there's been a lot of kind of hard tackles coming in today, but by a distance, that's the worst one we've seen, by some distance.
So Caicedo is off, really important player, and Chelsea are down to 10 men against the Premier League leaders in a match so far of few chances. Half-time approaching. Arsenal have now got a man advantage. Eza, as Chelsea defend the edge of their penalty area. Arsenal inside the Chelsea half. Enzo Maresca, the shaven-headed coach with the black gloves and that pallid grey tracksuit that he wears, on the edge of the coaching area, trying to marshal his troops after that setback, as Fowler's given Chelsea's way on the edge of the area for a challenge.
Another yellow card.
Yeah.
I mean, is that Nkapie?
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's him that's got that there.
Challenge on Chalobah, who seems to have come off quite badly there.
Yeah.
Which was a flailing arm from Nkapie, who was jumping, so arms were flailing, but the arm caught Chalobah in the face, and he's holding.
They'll have a look at it, John.
They will.
They will have a look at that one. And if he thinks it's a deliberate leading with an elbow in a very dangerous way, he may well look at that in the same way.
Let's get another update from Harry Benjamin on the Grand Prix.
Lap 45 of 57, Oscar Piastri pitted just a few laps ago, and Lando Norris has just come in as well after looking like he had a few problems out there and has fallen down the field slightly. He's got work to do. Verstappen leads this race, and if Piastri wants to win it, he's going to have to overtake him on the road. Right now, the title goes down to the wire next week in Abu Dhabi.
Thank you very much, Harry. Commentary continues on Sports Extra. Well, we've not been shown another replay of this, and Chalobah is still lying on his back, and all of the various protocols are being carried out on him after what is a head injury caught by the arm of Nkapie.
John, I sometimes look for little signals, little hidden signals. And Anthony Taylor was fiddling with his top left pocket just a moment ago there.
Okay. What, you think he might be undoing a button?
Yeah, so maybe something that in there that he might be considering removing.
Yeah.
Because
surprised he's had time to button it up again after.
it's odd though, because sometimes if a referee, I mean obviously the different pockets for those from yellow cards usually in the shorts pocket and the red's up on your shirt. I think he's got to go and have a look at this. We shall see.
Okay.
Oh no, he's running away, so he's not going towards.
Well, let's see. Nkapie. Where is Nkapie? Is he back on the halfway line? Yes, he is.
Hiding.
Yeah.
Can't hide for the VAR.
You can run, but you can't hide. And Chalobah is now up on his haunches. No, sorry, Chalobah's still sitting down. Reece James is standing over him.
John, there's one thing I'd like to add to that. There is an elbow. He is elbowed in the face. Now, was it deliberate? Did he deliberately elbow in the cheekbone there? I want to see it again. By the way, we can see that because it's exactly what he's saying there. I think it was maybe a follow through the head as well. We haven't seen another angle.
Okay.
So here's the referee. What's he going to say?
He's going to tell Robert Sanchez to go back to where he thinks the free kick should be taken. And it looks as though a yellow has been shown.
No, he's been given it. The yellow's been given it.
Nkapie.
Yeah, but it's whether he then did what he did with Caicedo beforehand.
Yeah,
but giving a yellow and change it.
It would appear not. And actually, we've just seen a close-up of Chalobah, who's actually drawn blood on his cheekbone.
It was pretty ugly, I have to say. Again, another one of those very orangey yellows.
Yeah, so yellow, no more than that. Then a foul by Fofana on Marino in the centre circle. This is actually taking me back to, do you remember the Chelsea-Tottenham match here, the Battle of the Bridge, which ended up Leicester winning the title that night?
I was there.
Mark Clattenburg was the referee that night. And actually, Rob Nothman, who's here as the producer, is reminding me that it was Anthony Taylor who's involved. Do you remember last season, the 14 yellow cards in the Bournemouth-Chelsea match?
Do you think he's got any of them wrong so far?
No, I don't.
No, I don't.
What is that now? That is 1, 2, 3, 4 for Arsenal and 1 for Chelsea, plus the red card so far.
Yeah.
and it's 0-0. So not the goalmouth incident that we might have been expecting, as Saka plays the ball to Timber, who took up a good position on the edge of the area and tried to turn that infield, but as he did so, the challenge came in, it's behind, and it is a corner to Arsenal. This, incidentally, this is the first corner of the match.
Incredible. And Arsenal, who are obviously very, very good for the corners, but they haven't got two of the most important, their principal players attacking it, but they'll still do the same things.
On the screens here, they're showing the announcement from PGMO as to the reasons why Caicedo was sent off, but we heard Anthony Taylor say about the excessive force. It is a corner then, Arsenal with the corner. Saka takes this into the 6-yard box. Sanchez comes, gets his hands to it, bounces it down, and then picks it up on the bounce and delivers it away downfield for Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto against Eza, weaving his way infield into the centre circle. Square pass to Gusto, still 0-0 if you've just switched on. Now Estevao's left-footed ball, that's headed away, down and away by Declan Rice on the edge of his own box. Fofana, and then little touch from Gusto. Pedro Neto then runs into Declan Rice, who just takes the ball away from him. 5 minutes of added time. I thought there might be more than that. And at half-time, we will hear from Arne Slot. Arsenal continuing to come forward. Martinelli with a shot. Sanchez goes down and makes the save. Effort, right foot from the edge of the penalty area. And a quite acrobatic save, leaping down to his right with one hand from the Chelsea goalkeeper to stop it.
Well, first of all, what a brilliant sweeping move by Arsenal there. From one end of the pitch to the other. Oh, mostly one touches, but a really good shot. It seemed to me that Sanchez was going the other way, managed to turn on it. Magnificent save.
As now Reece James is able to win a challenge for a bouncing ball on the edge of the area. Shot is blocked. Gusto then just touches it away from Merino, who, I mean, Arsenal are effectively playing without anyone at all up front, because Merino has spent most of his time in the midfield, close to or actually further back than Eza.
Well, and oddly, since the sending off, Chelsea haven't taken a step back. Chelsea will still want to be in the front foot. They're still trying to attack, they're still trying to control the game, and to some degree they have in the period. It's whether that will change after half-time, but at the moment the Chelsea fans are well behind their team and still believe they can get something, and maybe all 3 points out of this.
Half-time coming up. We're going to hear from Arne Slot after Liverpool's win. Jared Bourne as well, the West Ham captain, as Merino plays it through with the angle, but Cucurella is able to play that away. He's given it away though to Timber. Took a heavy touch, the Arsenal defender, and then swept forward towards João Pedro. Mosquera is able to get to that one first, and then Declan Rice is able to retake possession again for Arsenal. Yes, Jared Bourne, who we'll hear, I'm sure, talking about the really sad news about the death of Billy Bonds this morning. And we're also going to hear from the Crystal Palace manager, Oliver Glasner. All of that at half-time. Manchester United winning at Crystal Palace from 1-0 down there. 7th in the table now, Manchester United. Aston Villa 1-0 winners against Wolves. Brighton 2-0 winners at Forest. Brighton are up to 5th. And Liverpool 2-0 winners at West Ham. Arsenal's attack down the left results in another corner. So a corner now for Declan Rice to take from the left-hand side for the first time, Pat.
Well, on top of the fact that they are very good at corner kicks, I mean, Declan Rice, the delivery's brilliant, but considering, you know, the height that they've lost, maybe they could do with Declan in the middle there, and he's not bad in there. However, they've worked in this well, and they've got a man advantage, so they should get the odd half chance with a few corners.
Yes, in front of the Matthew Harding stand. A few of the Chelsea fans in that corner are leaning over the hoardings, pointing and suggesting that Rice has not got the ball in the quadrant. I think he knows what he's doing from corners, Declan Rice. And here he is now with a delivery the near post that Sanchez can come and get a punch on that, the Chelsea goalkeeper. Martinelli miscontrolled the punch clearance, so Chelsea have the ball back on the halfway line. 0-0 the score in added time. Less than 2 minutes of added time to play. Reece James now, left-footed, swinging it out to the far side, where that's taken down by Pedro Neto. Neto dummied to cross against Martinelli, back onto his left foot. Neto's ball in, gone a long way, but it's headed away by Hincapié. Comes out to Gusto. Gusto's crossed to the back post, no one there at all, whether in red or blue. And eventually Saka's able to come across under pressure from Cucurella. And Saka trying to hold it up against Cucurella, who in the end has to let him go. Plays it Merino, and then goalkeeper Raya chips it out of play. Hence the reaction from the Chelsea supporters. So 0-0, but Chelsea down to 10 men. Caicedo's challenge, VAR upgrading Anthony Taylor's yellow card to a red card, and then Hincapié with a flailing arm in the face of Chalobah that was deemed to be only worthy of a yellow card, not a red. So those are the two main talking points, Pat.
They definitely are, and it's one of those. Certainly the first one I thought was a red card, and I wouldn't argue that for a millisecond. Second one, question mark. Had the referee decided that was red, you wouldn't have been absolutely shocked, you know. So I think certainly Chelsea fans will feel a bit miffed about that. But they've played well since they've gone down to 10 men, Chelsea, and they have not taken a step back.
No, you would not necessarily know that they're playing with 10. João Pedro, just down in front of us on the Chelsea left wing. Sudden hush around Stamford Bridge as Enzo Fernandez is tangling with Mosquera. No Saliba if you have just switched on. William Saliba ruled out of this match, and then as the two of them tussle, Mosquera drops to the ground with his hands on his face, and Enzo Fernandez walks away from this playing the innocent. Maybe he is innocent.
Well, that's
I think the half-time whistle has gone. Mosquera's still down on the pitch, Pat, and is being lifted up by his teammates. And I think Anthony Taylor is going to let this one go, I think.
And I've just seen a replay of it, and Fernandez has caught him with his fingers across his chin, and for some reason Mosquera's holding the top of his face where he wasn't contacted. So Anthony Taylor, once again, well done, you got that one right, mate.
Yeah, very much at the centre of things though. As we said, Anthony Taylor is by a long way not Chelsea's favourite referee. As the players leave the field, Anthony Taylor, who sent off Moises Caicedo. Here we go. Here are the boos for Anthony Taylor, although he's been quite cute there. He's actually following the Chelsea players right down the tunnel. So there we are. What about no goals, but Caicedo's sending off and Hincapié not sent off.
It's an interesting game. I mean, a lot of good players out here, but I mean, some very, very good players aren't getting too involved in the game because they've stopped each other. Cucurella's done a right good job in Saka, but now has to tiptoe because he's been booked already. And you look through that midfield, James done a great job stopping Declan Rice. Martinelli not get much out of Gusto, and Eddie really struggling to get into it. However, it will change in the second half, that's certain.
Yes, half-time, Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0.
Premier League reaction to come, and very shortly we'll be back at the Grand Prix in Qatar after the news with Giuliano Cassidy.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Rachel Reeves has denied allegations that she misled the public about the state of the economy before the budget. The Chancellor insists she's been upfront about her plans. The Conservatives say Miss Reeves painted an overly bleak picture of the public finances as a smokescreen for tax rises. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has made an official request for a presidential pardon. Mr Netanyahu, who's mired in a long-running corruption trial, denies any wrongdoing. He says the pardon will aid national reconciliation. The new political party, co-founded by former Labour MPs Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana, has voted to keep the name Your Party. It's been holding its first annual conference in Liverpool. And the former West Ham captain and manager Billy Bonds has died at the age of 79. As a player, he won the FA Cup with them in 1975 and 1980.
The stories we tell.
About the people we know.
And the places we love.
Are not just made here.
They're stories made of here.
The British Isles are globally important for nature.
Yeah, we might find that kid who's got the raw talent, who's in a back street in Preston somewhere. That'd be amazing.
The thing is...
We're moving back to Barry.
What?
Made of Belfast.
Liverpool, Cornwall, Glasgow,
Newcastle.
Cardiff.
Made of here.
Because this is our BBC.
This is 5 Live Sports with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0, second half commentary to come. Lando Norris is not going to win the world title today, but the next few minutes will tell us what sort of cushion he'll have going to Abu Dhabi. Harry Benjamin.
3 laps to go here under the lights at the Lusail International Circuit for the penultimate race of the Formula One season. Lando Norris could have won the title tonight. As it stands, it will go to the wire in Abu Dhabi, and McLaren look like they have lost a slam dunk 1-2 finish after strategy has played out. Max Verstappen leads this Grand Prix on lap 55 of 57. Oscar Piastri is trying to chase him down, but is running out of time in second. Sainz is third, Antonelli fourth, and Lando Norris is stuck down in fifth behind Kimi Antonelli's Mercedes and can't find a way through. Right now, if it ends like this, the title goes to the wire. Norris has a 10-point advantage over Max Verstappen, who moves up into second, with Oscar Piastri down to third, just 4 points behind, 14 points separating the top 3 next week. But there's still a couple of laps to run, Mark Priestley, former McLaren mechanic, and the smallest of mistakes here can lead to the biggest consequences.
Yeah, and it's a circuit that really can bite if you get it wrong. We've seen it happen across the weekend with a number of drivers, and here we go, there's one right now. There's a driver with a puncture.
It's Isaac Hadjar who has got problems, puncture front left. We saw Pirelli bring in a 25 lap limit on tyres due to this track being so fast, so high energy. The tyres really feel the pain from the curbs, and has Hadjar run out of time there? They've all been playing by the rules, but did they need to limit that even more? We shall see. Hadjar drops out of a great points-paying result. The 21-year-old Parisian rookie who has scored a podium this year and falls by the wayside. Will that affect anybody else? Could it affect our title runners?
Well, it will be a concern for everyone else who made the stop on the same lap 25 of this race. Halfway through, it was lap 32. Halfway through that big double stint on the 2 tyres, that's what Hadjar did, and that left front is the tyre that takes the most punishment. That's the tyre that we've seen issues with over the course of the weekend at this track. That's what Pirelli were concerned about. There will now be concern up and down the pit lane. Verstappen out front with a 9.8 second lead. He now needs to start managing that pace and managing that tyre.
Yeah, but that lead has come down by a couple of seconds in the last couple of laps as he's had to navigate a whole behemoth of traffic from lapped runners, but he's just about done it. He's coming through the final corner now as we see Lando Norris has managed to get through on Kimi Antonelli coming through the left-hand kink of turn 11. Crucial for Lando Norris to fight back some extra points heading to Abu Dhabi next week. Was it a mistake from Antonelli? Because Norris looked stuck as he navigates his way through the final corner, and we start the final lap of this race. Isaac Hadjar limps into the pit lane, but Antonelli then has had to fall by the wayside and into fifth. It's the final lap of the Qatar Grand Prix. Verstappen leads Piastri, Norris up to fourth, but the title still goes down to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, I think it was a mistake from Antonelli. We only caught the end of it on the shots that we saw, but it looked like he ran wide and opened the door to Lando Norris. He didn't need a second invitation, and through he went, and that will be a great help. Could it be a crucial help in this title battle as we roll on to next week in the final round in Abu Dhabi?
8.6 seconds between Verstappen and Piastri. The Australian in the McLaren has run out of time with just 5 corners remaining for Max Verstappen as he carves his way through the triple right-handers of 12, 13 and 14. Huge speeds carried by the Red Bull driver. The flick through the left-hander.
I'm not sure what happened to Antonelli, Max. Looks like he just pulled over and let Norris through.
Is that a battle for second, and the constructors rearing its head? But with one final corner to go, the Qatar Grand Prix is won by Max Verstappen, who keeps himself in this title fight. The championship will be decided in Abu Dhabi at the season finale next weekend. Oscar Piastri, still in the hunt, comes home for second for McLaren. Carlos Sainz, with a remarkable podium for Williams, holds off his old teammate and friend Lando Norris, who salvages a few extra points in fourth and gives himself a little bit more of a buffer. Antonelli 5th, Russell, Alonso, Leclerc, Lawson and Tsunoda should steal the final point. But Mark, the title goes down to the wire in 2025.
You can never write off Max Verstappen, never write him off. This was a race that he didn't have the pace to beat the McLarens. Here he is.
Anyway, regardless of that, we will fight to the end, mate. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Really well done with the strategy, guys. That was awesome. Thank you very much. You keep staying in it. That's a very lovely race. You take that one. Great job, everyone.
A very lovely race. Great job by Max Verstappen and Red Bull, who win the Qatar Grand Prix. And with that, with Piastri finishing in second, with Lando Norris in fourth, as the fireworks erupt into the night sky here in Qatar, Lando Norris heads to Abu Dhabi next week with a gap of 12 points.
Check the flag, Oscar. Check the flag. Your pace was incredible.
Speechless. Yes. I don't have any words.
Oscar Piastri speechless, doesn't sound happy, does the Australian, who has returned to form but falls to third in the championship. But with 12 points separating Norris and Verstappen, and then 4 points back is Oscar Piastri, this fight is on. The championship will be decided, Steve, in Abu Dhabi next week.
And 5 Live Sport next Sunday will be live from Abu Dhabi. We're taking the whole programme there. For the first time since 2007, 3 different drivers all have the opportunity to win the world title going into the final race. That overtake, which is why Red Bull was so unhappy, is massive for Lando Norris. Had it stayed as it was, if Max Verstappen won in Abu Dhabi, Norris would have had to have been second to win the world title. That one place shift means if Verstappen wins in Abu Dhabi, then third will be enough for Lando Norris to win the world title. Piastri needs a lot of things to go his way, but Max Verstappen, who at one point was over 100 points behind Lando Norris, to be within 12 going into the final race, that is a heck of a story, and that's why we'll be there. In the day's Premier League football, Liverpool got a much-needed win over West Ham. We'll hear from Arne Slot before the game. If you were with us on 5 Live, you will have heard really, really sad news that Billy Bonds, one of the greatest players to ever play for West Ham, has died at the age of 79. A man who made 799 appearances for the club. He captained them to 2 FA Cup wins and then managed them between 1990 and 1994. Of course, the current captain is Jarrod Bowen. He's been leading tributes at the London Stadium. He lay a shirt as well with Bonds printed on the back in front of the Billy Bonds stand.
It was an honour for one. It was a special tribute for someone who's got a lot of history at this club. In front of the stand that's named after him. So I think it was right. Obviously, it's a horrible day when you wake up in the morning and you come in to prepare for a game, and you're being told you've got to do these things because he sadly passed away. But I think it was only right to pay a tribute like that, like I said, in front of his stand, with his shirt and the fans singing his name. I think it's only right.
How much of an influence did he still have on the club, do you feel? I mean, the current squad, would they know about him? They see his picture all around this stadium. How much of an influence was he to West Ham?
Listen, I can't speak for everyone, but I've always said that there's been some great captains that have captained this club and achieved a lot. He won FA Cups, been manager here as well. There's a picture of him on the wall when you walk in through the tunnel. So for me speaking, a big influence. And like I said, he's got a stand named after him as well, which speaks for itself. So for me speaking, a huge influence. Nearly 800 games is an incredible feat. I think anyone in any standard of football playing those many games is incredible. All the accolades, all the records that he's got will always stay with him, and that's a special thing. And today the fans sung in tributes, which I think was a good thing to do, but disappointingly we couldn't get the win, which would have been obviously even better.
Jarrod Bowen talking to Andy Gillies. As for Liverpool, Alexander Isak scored his first Premier League goal since his move from Newcastle. They ended up winning 2-0. Here's Arne Slot on the significance of that.
Important. If you have such a run of form we had and the results we had, then the first and most important thing is winning. You can talk about performance and all kind of different things, but results do matter the most when you've lost so many times. And performance was, I think, very decent as well.
Alexander Isak scores his first Premier League goal, and it was instinctive. It's almost like he didn't think about it. It was what you paid all that money for. How important for him is that to get that and move on now?
And I think it's always nice when a number 9 and when your attackers score goals, because they need that. The more they score, the easier they have it when they arrive in front of the goal the next time. He was already close a few times, Alex. And he was also close of being taken off, because I saw him getting more and more tired during the second half. But just in time, he finished a good cross from Cody. But it wasn't an easy finish, because there was a little bounce in the ball. So it was indeed pure class how he finished that one off.
Arne Slot there talking to Andy Gillies. Other full times: Forest 0, Brighton 2, Villa 1, Wolves 0 and Crystal Palace 1, Manchester United 2. In Scotland, 2 goals in 2 minutes saw Celtic beat Hibs 2-1. They're now 2 points behind Hearts at the top. Here's Celtic manager Martin O'Neill.
Delighted to win. Was worried about the game, and beforehand obviously Hibs very, very strong and a good side as well too. So for us to win, particularly after the exertions of Thursday night, was really pleasing.
And now you're within 2 points of the lead. You could go top depending on other results on Wednesday. And of course we now know that you will be in charge for at least one more game.
I
say at least, who knows?
Well done. Right. I've just done an interview there, but I think that Wednesday will see it through.
If somebody came to you and said, would you like to stay longer, would you?
Right. I don't think that's going to happen, and I think that the new manager coming in has got to get himself together here. Got to get his stamp his own personality on the team, things like this here, and obviously prepare himself then for January to try and enhance the squad, things like that there. So I think it's only fair.
And we're expecting that next manager to be Wilfried Nancy. Elsewhere, Rangers drew 0-0 with Falkirk. Aberdeen beat Livingston by 1-0. The one game in the Gallagher Premiership finished Saracens 29, Bath 36. And Neil Robertson is through to the last 16 at the UK Snooker Championship in York. The 3 times champion beat Julien Leclerc 6-2. Chequered Flag podcast, you'll get all the reaction to that remarkable end to the Qatar Grand Prix, which means we are all set up for the final race of the season. 5 Live Sport next Sunday, live all afternoon from Abu Dhabi. Ready for second half commentary at Stamford Bridge then. Chelsea and Arsenal, Pat Nevin and John Murray.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. Couple of interesting changes here in that Lewis Skelly has been brought on by Arsenal for Calafiori, who is one of the Arsenal players on a yellow card, so that might be a factor there. And also, Pat Nevin, Garnacho coming on, and he is taking the place of Esteval.
I think that would disappoint a few people around here. There was a little injury near the end of the Barcelona game, but he looked on fire, didn't he? And it was causing Calafiori all sorts of problems, so that change has had a muted response.
It has. But I'm like you do, when that change is made, you do kind of wonder whether fitness issue is part of it.
Yeah, I can't imagine any other reason, because for me, Esteval looked the most dangerous player on the field.
Yeah. So he's off anyway. That's the end of his involvement, and also I think probably significantly, as the second half gets underway, Chelsea kick off. Chelsea 0, Arsenal 0. The player who comes on is Garnacho, and not Cole Palmer, who is on the bench for Chelsea. And already now Joao Pedro has gone down. He's been challenged. And remember, if you haven't heard, Chelsea down to 10 men in this match. Caicedo sent off in the first half. And also, Chelsea clearly feeling that they had a case for Hincapié to be shown a red, which was not shown. And now Joao Pedro, who was caught in the head, an aerial challenge, clash of heads, Hincapié.
Clash of heads is pushing it a wee bit there.
You think he's headed into him?
No, it's not. It didn't feel to me. It didn't look to me that there was a huge amount in that there. I think he'll recover. But it's it's a foul. Maybe he's come across the top of him. But I agree, the referee, no need to get the cards out for that one.
No, free kick then. Hincapié is on a yellow card. So Hincapié is on a yellow card. Mosquera and Zubimendi. And Miles Lewis-Skelly coming on for Arsenal as the left back. Play will resume then with a free kick. If you weren't listening in the first half, relatively few chances in the match so far. Chelsea against Arsenal. Chelsea down in 4th place now. And a free kick that James and Neto are over. And with Garnacho coming on, Neto has now moved over to the right flank. But this free kick, first of all, from towards the right. James curls it in, goalkeeper comes on the headed back across by João Pedro, and Raya, having come then gone back, found he was in the perfect place to actually claw away the header.
Well, eventually found himself in the perfect place. That looked to me as if it was going in. It's gone over his head, realised he's got under the ball. Looks as if it may be on target, but what a wonderful save by Raya eventually.
Yeah, corner then. Chelsea take it in towards the near post, flick the cross and in! Chalobah and Chelsea are in front. It flew in across the face of the Arsenal goal, and Trevor Chalobah can celebrate in the corner with the rest of his teammates, and suddenly Stamford Bridge comes alive now. The leaders are behind here.
You know, they could have scored seconds before that. They haven't taken a stand back at any point since they went down to 10 men, Chelsea. They utterly, completely believe that they could go on and get something out of this match. Well, what an opportunity they have now. Super ball in there to the near post. You know how good Arsenal is supposed to be in those situations. Chelsea got it right. Very hard to defend. Raya, absolutely no man's land. And it goes into that back post there. And hey, we have got 40 minutes of fun now.
Just a little glance at the near post, off the top of his head actually, which took it right across the goal, and it nestled in the far bottom corner. And the 10 men of Chelsea lead Arsenal by 1-0. And the team that is so strong on corners concedes from a corner. So now Arsenal, Declan Rice in the centre circle preparing to kick off, is saying to his teammates, need to keep you cool here. Don't do anything rash. As Chalobah has just scored for the third time this season for Chelsea, and what a big goal that is. Arsenal, who've had this brilliant week, winners in the North London derby and against Bayern Munich, now find themselves behind against Chelsea, who've got this happy knack, Chelsea, of scoring first in Premier League matches. It's the 8th in a row where they've scored the first goal, as Timber will play it back towards the halfway line. So Chelsea with the 10 men, Sanchez in goal, Gusto, Fofana, Chalobah and Cucurella, and then James and Fernandes, João Pedro, Neto and Garnacho. Neto, as I say, now on the right-hand side, and Arsenal with Raya in goal, Timber, Mosquera, Hincapié and Lewis Skelly. No Saliba, ruled out because of an injury in training this week. Zubamendi and Rice, as Arsenal come forward with Saka. Saka shoots across goal but hits it, and actually Sanchez makes a rather clumsy save, which I thought he carried over the dead ball line at one point, but he didn't. He kept it in play.
Well, he did. I have to say, I thought it went out of play as well. That should be a corner kick, but the assistant referee's got a better view than us.
Yep, so Saka, Eza, Martinelli and Marino, the rest of the Arsenal team that is on duty here today.
John, it's interesting, you look at Arsenal. I mean, who's played well in an offensive attacking sense? Got very little. Saka, Martinelli, nothing really. Eze, incredibly quiet. They've been so well marshalled by those Chelsea defenders.
Yes, they have, and here is Eza, who's dropped deep to receive the ball, gives it to Saka. And Saka, who's actually got Garnacho with him there for once rather than Cucurella, comes back to Rice. Might be part of the instructions from Maresca for Garnacho to help out Cucurella and make sure it isn't always Cucurella who is with Saka. Back it comes to the halfway line. Here's Hincapié, and Hincapié carrying it forward, gives it to Martinelli here on the left hand side as Arsenal attack towards the end where their supporters are in the Shed stand. So 1-0 Chelsea lead. Chalobah's goal from the corner. Hincapié chips the ball into the area, but that'll just bounce harmlessly through to Sanchez, who will now pick it up, the Chelsea goalkeeper. So Arsenal here, they lost at Anfield, but that's the only defeat that they've had all season long, facing the prospect of a second defeat after the massive highs of these past 8 days. Long downfield from Chelsea, but that's through the legs of João Pedro all the way through to Raya, who will underarm it out. Zubamendi receives the ball from his goalkeeper and then clips it forward for the run down the right-hand side of Timber. Timber angles it back to Saka. Lovely move this. Saka still going. Chelsea players all around him, but in the end crowded out. Cucurella did the final job on the edge of the penalty area, and it just ran through into the box and Chelsea could clear. It's going to be a good test now to see what Arsenal are able to do here in this position against the 10 men of Chelsea, but 1-0 down at Stamford Bridge.
It's a bit of a disappointment. We'll have a little bit of a break for a moment now when Chelsea players gone down, but you know, Declan Rice, he's been so deep. He spent most of his time since the start of the second half as centre back, and is he injured? Is there something wrong? He's not getting forward. You're a goal down, you're a man up, go and push forward. That's what you're good at, Declan, unless he's been told to be a little bit more negative,
possibly,
but that should not be the case. Declan Rice has got so much more to offer.
Lines are open for 6:06. Liam Delap is also being prepared by Chelsea to come on as their second substitute. So yes, Sunday night, Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton standing by to take your calls on 5 Live 08085 909 693. To call is free from mobiles and landlines. They'd love to hear from you. 85058 to message at your standard message rate, and hashtag BBC 606 to get in touch as well on social media. So the lines are open now. Mosquera, then back to the halfway line it goes with Zubimendi. Lewis Skelly in a central position now, the teenage substitute coming on. Hincapié, Martinelli's here on the left hand side. Mikel Arteta just steps forward now towards the edge of the pitch actually. Zubimendi is able to bring it forward, plays it at short distance to Saka. Bukayo Saka gets it back, passes it to Timber. Timber's ball swept across the 6-yard box, but it bounces up nicely into the midriff of the Chelsea goalkeeper Sanchez. He underarms it out to James, who is shoved off the ball by Lewis Skelly, and that had to be a yellow card for Lewis Skelly, who's only been on the field a matter of minutes, having replaced Calafiori, and now he's on a yellow card after breaking down that Chelsea attack.
Part of the reason why you bring him on is because the other player's on a yellow and he's done it right away as well. And Chelsea will make a change here. João Pedro is getting a rousing welcome here. He's worked very, very hard, not had that many chances, but it's been a selfless display. If you've seen a selfless display, just watch the lap. There's a man over him for the team.
Yeah, the summer signing from Ipswich Town, £30 million they paid for Liam Delap, who I know is on the radar of Thomas Tuchel. So there is that potential carrot of a place in the England World Cup squad. It is the draw on Friday, incidentally, in case that has escaped your attention. So we'll be in Washington DC on Friday, and the first balls will be drawn round about 5:30. You can watch it on BBC television, and also we will bring you commentary on it in Drive Friday tea time, and then a full programme as well in 5 Live Sport. Cheers, because the cross from Arsenal is mishit, still in the Chelsea box. Pedro Neto is able to bring it down, and Pedro Neto gets it back from Gusto and clears it to the halfway line, where the ball is won by James against Zubimendi. James swings a crossfield pass. Garnacho is getting the ball down now, which he does. He's up against Rice. Garnacho into the box, but Rice puts a foot on that, and the ball loops away and bounces out of play for a corner to Chelsea from the left, and that is the side from which they scored their goal.
Yeah, you can see a little bit of panic in that Arsenal defence here. Good defending this time by Declan Rice. Gets into the right position, making it hard for Garnacho on that far side there. But there was a moment just when the ball was picked up in midfield with Reece James, and Raya was off his line, and I mean 25 yards off his line, and he thought about it. That would have been a memorable one had he been able to score from the halfway line.
Not another goal from the halfway. I'm getting bored of them.
10 a penny these days.
Yeah, anyone can do it. It's a corner then. Keep your eyes on Chalobah. In it comes to the near post. That's headed down and away by Rice, though. Delivery not as good as it was for the Chelsea goal. Here is back to James, though, who plays it in. A stretch inside the 6-yard box by Fofana, bounces down, scrambled away up to Martinelli, but then Martinelli is shrugged off the ball very effectively by Pedro Neto, and Chelsea are able to give it back to Sanchez. Even though Arsenal have the man advantage here. It really doesn't feel like that, and it was with the 10 men early in the second half that Chelsea took the lead, and Arsenal are struggling to make an impression, Pat.
I still think Chelsea have looked a bit sound. I think they're worthy of their 1-0 lead at the moment. The change that have been made now, usually they wait to the 60th minute. Correctly, he's not waiting. And Martinelli going off is absolutely no surprise at all. It's had very little impact in this game. As I say, he's been well marshalled, and he's coming off.
Yeah, and boos because it's the man who left Chelsea in the summer, Noni Madueke, who is coming on, and also Martin Odegaard is going to come onto the field. But Martinelli, who was making his first start for over a month, did score the third goal against Bayern Munich at the weekend. Did have a shot saved, well saved actually, by Sanchez late in the first half. But I think certainly Mikel Arteta will be looking for Madueke to have more of an influence on the game. And Odegaard coming on for Zubimendi. Well, that's an interesting move, but I think probably comes back to what you were saying, Pat, that Mikel Arteta feels that Arsenal need to have more about them.
I mean, what's the point? You're a goal down, you've got a man up, you should be pressing again, you should be asking more questions. Chelsea, they've had tough games the last few weeks as well. They've had to run about a bit. They should be getting tired as well. And by the way, I'm a wee bit saddened for Madueke getting a lot bit stick for the Chelsea fans here. Look, he didn't ask to go. Yeah, he's an Arsenal fan as a kid and he's going back to his own club, but it's not as if he was pushing for a move out of Chelsea, so a bit harsh on him.
Yep, 2.5 seasons with Chelsea, and was a big part of the success last season, the Conference League and the FIFA Club World Cup. And here is Madueke then into the action for the first time, having scored his first Arsenal goal in midweek against Bayern Munich, but it breaks down. Delap though overhits his pass downfield, hence the groans. And Zubimendi only now making his way back to the Arsenal dugout, having left the field on the far side. This is 5 Live and the World Service from the BBC. Chelsea 1, Arsenal 0. Quite a story this. Chelsea winning with 10 men after Moises Caicedo was sent off in the first half. Saka against Cucurella, gets the cross in, left footed, headed in by Marino, and Arsenal are level. Great piece of skill from Saka against Cucurella. He delivered the cross, Marino with the finish, and it's Chelsea 1, Arsenal 1.
That's the first time in the game that Saka has got past. He didn't even need to get past Cucurella. Cucurella can't dive in, he's on a yellow card. And he's just come back, and it is a beautiful ball, incredibly hard to do anything about that there. And the big thing is Arsenal had 2 against 1 at the back post there. Nothing Chelsea could do. 1-1, and we shall see now if that strength that Chelsea had is going to be enough, because with an extra man and just scoring a goal now, that has completely changed everything.
Yeah, goals change games, Pat. We know that. Marino, who scored here when Arsenal won last season in a 1-0 win, scores again in 6-yard box. And okay, he's not Gyökeres, he's not Havertz, but that's 4 goals this season. And as an all-round player, he is an important part of this Arsenal squad, and he was on the end of that, crucially.
Yeah, and when you made a few changes, you want to have an effect. Within 3 or 4 minutes, there is an effect, and although not directly involved in the play, Madueke was at the back post as well, which made it very difficult for Gusto. He had 2 players to mark at that point in time. So although Madueke didn't actually have a touch there, he actually affected the goal.
So 1-1, all square again. Lines are open for 606 08 085 909 693. Text 85058. Hashtag BBC 606. It's a Sunday, so Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton together on the UK's most popular phone-in. Lines open now. Cucurella is down. Chelsea are in possession. Anthony Taylor is saying, play on, get on with it.
Here's a question for you. Do you think Saka and Cucurella will be swapping Christmas cards this season? I think it's possibly unlikely. Saka giving him a mouthful there, trying to get up.
Yeah, no Christmas cards. Not even an engagement card.
No cards.
Here's Marino, Madueke, and then Madueke's ball infield intercepted by Enzo Fernandez. Liam Delap goes down for no particular reason, under pressure from Hincapié. Rice now forward to Odegaard. Odegaard, very nearly found the pass to Saka, but Cucurella just stepped forward, intercepted it, and it's deflected out for a throw-in on the far side to Arsenal, who've suddenly got a spring in their stride again.
And again, it's one of the things about a full-back against a winger. Saka really hasn't get close to getting by Cucurella. He got by him once, got across in, and now he's winning the day. It's just so unfair in defenders.
Chelsea 1, Arsenal 1. On the Football Daily, on your BBC Sounds app, the Premier League review will be on tonight. Be on the radio at 8:30, but also search on the Football Daily to find that with everything rounded up. Arsenal with Timber crossing into the penalty area, but too close to Sanchez, who's able to take it down. And also Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is this week's football interview on the Football Daily. Chelsea breaking downfield. Pedro Neto now burst into the penalty area, but Hincapié in the box, slides in, gets the ball, then Hincapié has to be dragged away by Mosquera because he faces up against Pedro Neto and he is on a yellow card. If there's one thing Arsenal must not do.
I have no idea what Hincapié is doing there. He's got back, he's made the tackle, he should be quite pleased with himself, but do you really have to go and goad at that point in time? Yeah, there is a bit of something housery that happens in football games, but unnecessary there.
Corner from the right hand side, this time Neto to take this for Chelsea, which is headed away at the near post, but the whistle's gone because Odegaard is down on his knees with his head on the ground. Something's happened in there, and the referee had already blown the whistle, and
totally
just tangling with Fofana.
I think he did get one in the chin there with Fofana, but it's one of those ones that there is no deliberate attempt to hit Odegaard there at all.
So the corner will be taken now. Odegaard's back on his feet with the score level at 1-1. Chelsea weren't in front for long, maybe 10 minutes. Neto takes it in, is headed away by Rice into the back of Cucurella, which then bounced behind for a goal kick that Raya, the Arsenal goalkeeper, is going to take quickly. There's Madueke challenging Gusto, but Gusto gets up high, wins the header. Then Odegaard is able to get to the ball first against Cucurella. Now Declan Rice. Rice looks up, crosses the halfway line, then passes the ball to Madueke. Madueke on the left wing, step over and then turns back in his orange boots, Noni Madueke, and plays it back to Declan Rice again. Rice then a high right-footed pass to Saka, who set up the equaliser, but I'm not sure he kept the ball in play. No, he didn't on the far side after an unusual miscontrol, which he apologises to his teammates for. Throw in Chelsea.
And why the unusual miscontrol? It's because he knows it's Cucurella. If he doesn't get it right first time, he'll be right in tearing around his ankles there. So yeah, he's got his eye off the ball. But one of the things that's impressed me most about Arsenal this season is the brilliant game management. And as games have gone on, when they've had to raise the stakes and had to raise the control of the game, they've managed to do that time and again.
Yep.
This is a good day to do it.
Back it goes to Cucurella. Absolutely right about him against Saka. It's been a real... That's been top of the bill, actually, hasn't it? I think Cucurella and Saka, yeah. And as Harry Benjamin might say, he's been right up his gearbox, hasn't he, for most of the match. If you didn't hear it earlier, Verstappen won the Grand Prix, Piastri second, Norris fourth, and that means that it will all go to Abu Dhabi. So 5 Live Sport next Sunday afternoon. The race will be on 5 Live. Indeed, the whole programme will come from Abu Dhabi, and if Verstappen wins, Norris would have to finish third to be crowned world champion. That's what I heard Steve Crossman say just before we were handed back to at half-time. 5 Live and the World Service from the BBC as Odegaard chips a ball into the box. Madueke gets his head to it. Fofana heads it away, comes out. Madueke, but that is closed down by Fofana, and Fofana's off and running now for Chelsea. Passes it for Neto. Neto cutting infield, still near the centre circle. He is, and his low ball across is a little short as pass came from Garnacho. Here is Neto now on the right hand side. Neto's ball back across the edge of the penalty area as Arsenal are able to get a foot on that to clear it away, and Chelsea go back to Fofana and then Chalobah, and back into their own half. Forward it goes towards Delap, who takes the ball down on his thigh, gives it to Garnacho, low ball in towards the edge of the box. Gusto with a touch, but Lewis Skelly was able to kill it dead. But then passes it back out to the far side and gives it straight away to Garnacho, who's running at Mosquera. The cross from Garnacho, only half cleared by Rice, and then further away by Eza on the edge of his penalty area to Madueke, who's bundled into by Fofana, and he concedes the free kick against his former teammate. I can see from way up here, I can see the teeth of Madueke glinting as he has a few words to say with Fofana, his former teammate, after that.
To be honest, he's smiling away there. He knows what he did there. He won the free kick, he put his body in the way and just fell down, and the referee took it. But in that play there, I'm very impressed with Chelsea. The positivity all the way through. They don't want to settle for a point here. They still think they can win the game, and that's good. It should make these last 22 minutes or so very interesting.
Yeah, because that has to be the target for Chelsea. Home against the leaders, trying to put a bit of pressure on them, trying to, put this pressure that we talk about that Arsenal will have to deal with, but
with
it's
10
up to
men
the others to
don't.
get close.
With 10 men usually you think, okay, let's be realistic here and just play more defensively, but it's going to get harder and harder every minute when you're a man down.
Yeah. Pat Nevin with us on 5 Live and the World Service. Odegaard playing it square to Lewis Skelly. Lewis Skelly to the edge of the box, and now Madueke turns, 2 Chelsea players in front of him. He's looking to Hincapie, but the pass from Madueke was short. However, Odegaard is back onto it for Arsenal. A twist and a turn from Madueke. It's Arsenal who come out with the ball. Declan Rice, red shirt outside his white shorts, and then it's turned by the Arsenal goal scorer Marino back to the edge of the box, comes back to Marino. It's aerial on the edge of the Chelsea penalty area, and it's headed away and back to the halfway line it goes. So Chelsea playing since the 38th minute with 10 men when Caicedo will be sent off, and a straight red card, so it'll be a 3-match suspension for Caicedo, so he'll miss the game in midweek against Leeds at Elland Road, then the match at Bournemouth and the home game against Everton. He was also sent off this season with Ecuador in their final World Cup qualifier, so Caicedo will be suspended for the first match at the finals. Marino mishits that pass out towards the far side, and Chelsea fans enjoyed that throw in near their own corner flag.
Are you sure he'll miss the first game?
He will.
Because
he will.
Apparently if you get sent off,
yeah, apparently
you don't always miss the games.
No, they can magically become suspended.
Yeah, can they?
They can.
But that wouldn't happen for anyone.
But it's not happening for Caicedo.
An absolute disgrace.
I knew that would be on your hit list. Throw-in for Cucurella as Chelsea don't clear it. Marino now working it back across, and then it had to be put behind by Fofana, by Reece James, who stepped in front of Madueke, so it's a corner to Arsenal from the right.
Yeah, and they've not had that many.
It's the third. First in the second half.
And just watching and see who's going to take it. Now, actually, obviously it's from the right hand side, so it will be Bukayo Saka who takes it. And I was going to say that gives Declan Rice a chance to go in. No, it doesn't. He goes back to the halfway line.
Yeah, it goes, because Delap and Garnacho have been left downfield.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
You're 10 men and you're leaving 3 up the field.
And Neto as well.
Incredible.
Corner
really
then,
unusual.
Saka to take this. Quite a sparse penalty area unusually for Arsenal. Attacking. 1-1 the score. Saka, little steps. Then the left-footed delivery in towards Mosquera, but no, close to Sanchez, who's able to catch that, untroubled. And then to the edge of the penalty area. Frustration, the Chelsea supporters wanted him to get rid of it. But
well, they're 3-on-3 up top. If you leave 3 up there, and you're not against natural defenders, because they're all still in the box, if you catch it, then get it forward really, really quickly. There's a reason for leaving 3 up and taking the chance.
Well, Gyökeres is going to come on, Pat. He's going to make his return. Chelsea with James, lovely pass to Garnacho, cutting in field. Garnacho trying to find a position, but Timber went with him. Now it's Cucurella. His cross is headed down, but no power on it, as Lewis Skelly did his job there and impeded Neto, and he wasn't able to really, you couldn't call that an attempt on goal.
You know what, we will spend some time later on talking about leaving 3 up the field at a corner kick when you've only got 10 men. That's ultra brave in the modern game. But I once had a manager who left 5 up for corners against, which was a really weird one.
Madueke back in field to Hincapie. So Gyökeres, who's missed the last 4 matches is going to be sent on next. Here's Saka, edge of the box, turns against Cucurella and shoots, but wild and wide. And in any case, the offside flag was up, and it's a free kick to Chelsea on their edge of their own box. Will they make the change now?
They must be tempted to do it now.
Yeah, here it comes. And it is Eze, who after his great exploits this time last week...
I'll say it for you. I don't think he's been very good today. And I have to say, I adore him as a player. I mean, last week was amazing. He is almost a generational talent as far as England's concerned, I think. However, today, very, very quiet, well marshalled all the way through.
Yeah. So Gyökeres is on 6 goals so far in 14 appearances. Actually, before his recent injury, had scored 3 goals in 3 matches, but then the injury came. What have you thought of him so far, Pat, Gyökeres?
It's what you kind of wanted for Arsenal. Yeah, he's not scoring a whole bunch of goals. Oh, wait a minute.
Nkapie under pressure from Delap. Had to get that away up towards Madueke. Gusto is with him. And then it finds its way to Madueke, but there's a challenge by Enzo Fernandez on Merino, just a little foul. So obviously Merino's dropped, well, I say he's dropped deeper, he's actually continued where he's played most of the match.
But the good thing about Gyökeres, if you're playing, is you always gauge him by the goals and the setups and that sort of stuff. But it's the players that he ties up, and if he runs and he drags players, that allows space for the likes of Eze and for the likes of Saka to use. So as a player playing behind him, he actually is a wee bit better than fans might think.
Arsenal with the ball. Mosquera, tall and upright, gives it to the club captain Odegaard. Now out to the left hand side to Madueke. Madueke takes on Neto. Gusto as well, does get the cross in though. What a good cross, headed away by Cucurella at the back post. Declan Rice 25 yards out, he curls it to Saka. Saka tried to direct it across the 6-yard box, but the touch took it straight to Sanchez, the goalkeeper.
It was on there. Harry got it across with a good little half volley there. Merino had made the run. As the Gyökeres made the run, they would have tap-ins, both of them. They just couldn't get the quality in the cross.
As Arsenal now see the ball back to their goalkeeper Raya. What have we got to play here? 16-17 minutes plus added time. I mean, it is a game that is there to be won.
It is, for both sides, it has to be said, even though Chelsea have got the 10 men. One thing is noticeable about Chelsea, Caicedo going off, they've not replaced him. That is so unusual, such an important player. They haven't brought another midfield in to replace him. They've got on with what they had.
Yep, just dropped Enzo Fernandez a
little bit deeper
alongside James. Here's Saka moving infield, but left-footed ball. That will come to nothing for Arsenal. That seemed to be in two minds. Odegaard comes across, slaps him on the hand, gives him a tap on the back of the head as well. Bit of encouragement from the captain, Odegaard, who will be one of the many millions tuning in for that draw on Friday. Norway's return, just like Scotland, to the World Cup for the first time since 1998. Don't miss it. And also we'll have all of the midweek matches covered on 5 Live, and Test match special returns in the early hours of Thursday morning with a second test from Brisbane. Chelsea 1, Arsenal 1. Declan Rice finds Odegaard, who's got some space here. Cucurella and Enzo Fernandez trying to get back. Odegaard now has got Timber available, plays it into the area, but that's cut out by Chalobah, who did well, stepped in there. Chalobah has had a very good game aside from the goal that he scored, and he's still going forward, Chalobah, but then overhits the pass. Or more likely actually Garnacho pulled the brakes on, so therefore Chalobah's pass just gave possession back to Arsenal.
To be fair, I'm more on Chalobah's side than that one. I suppose you should be looking for the ball shot. Don't give the ball away. Hold it on as much as you can. But actually, they didn't help each other. Let's be fair.
Chelsea 1, Arsenal 1. With a draw, Arsenal would have a 5-point lead over Manchester City at the top of the table, going into the midweek matches.
Do you know what they say though? The teams that win leagues, they sneak it in days like today, don't they? They get a late goal in days like today when they've not played at their best. It's been a little bit of a struggle, and somehow they find a way.
Odegaard now playing it through with Gyökeres offside, allows it to run to Timber, and then in comes Fofana with the cross. And he was in an offside position, but he quite cleverly let that go, but actually Fofana, I think the deflection finally was off the Arsenal man, and it is actually a goal kick, and Fofana is receiving great plaudits from his defensive teammates.
Yeah, I think he's done a really good job there. Tough one to see. If in doubt, the referee and the assistants usually go for the goal kick more than the corner.
With Colwill injured as he is at the moment, are these your first choice Chelsea central defenders?
Absolutely.
Certainly Chalobah.
Yeah, Chalobah's been very, very good, but both of them, when they get the ball and come out with the ball at their feet, they both look really comfortable. They're very, very quick, and it's one of the big things about modern centre-back. You've got to be very, very fast because there's so many quick players around in the league, and those two are.
Timber concedes a free kick over on the far side. Challenge on Garnacho, who ended up sprawling down again. Free kick 15 yards inside the Arsenal half on the far side. Lines open for 6:06. Chris Sutton alongside Robbie Savage, waiting for your calls. Match of the day tonight, any time on the iPlayer. And remember, new this season, the Premier League clips available from 8 o'clock on the BBC platform. Sports Scene on BBC One in Scotland as well this evening. Free kick to Chelsea over there on the left hand side. I have to say, I've heeded your words about the potential of a dramatic end to this match. Neto, it's got that feel to it, the way that things have progressed during the course of the last hour or so.
Well, yesterday there was a few late ones.
There was. Neto takes this free kick long into the area, rattles around but falls to the feet of Marino, who's able to clear it away. It comes back, Marino heads it down, but he heads it to Cucurella. Now Delap on the edge of the box, turns and shoots low, but Raya is able to get down to his left. Wasn't fully extended, but was able to save it. Chelsea man down on the edge of the penalty area. Play continues. Odegaard gives it to Saka. Saka now approaching the box against Cucurella. Right foot shot that blazed wide and high from the angle. Sanchez just lifts his gloves up and lets it go. Meanwhile, at the other end, Enzo Fernandez and David Raya are having a discussion. Raya sends Enzo Fernandez on his way twice, and twice he stops and comes back for more, and eventually Anthony Taylor arrives on the scene.
But there's no doubt Enzo Fernandez had his foot trodden on and went down injured. But when Chelsea then had a wee half a chance, he got up again. But then they lost it, he went back down again. So you can understand why Raya's upset, but also Enzo's saying, oh wait a minute, I did get injured, you know.
5 Live from the BBC World Service with us as well. First half, Caicedo was sent off, 0-0 at half time. Chelsea took the lead through Chalobah's header from the corner, but Mikel Merino equalising for Arsenal 11 minutes later from Saka's cross. So 1-1 it is as we enter the closing stages. 10 minutes to play on this chill afternoon at the end of November, and the ball out of play for a throw-in to Chelsea. Cucurella is given the ball, which he takes. The throw down into the full-back position. Fernandez goes down, ball still in play. Cucurella then falls over Timber and concedes a free kick.
That was a wrestling move. It wasn't a football move, that was a wrestling move. He was so far up, and it shows you the willingness of Cucurella. Yeah, he gives away a foul, but he's way up in the far byline there. He just keeps on going. That player never ever seems to tire.
Arsenal continue to come forward. Mosquera then rolls it forward to Timber. Garnacho comes across, back to Mosquera. Looks both ways, then gives it to Madueke, but he showed too much, and then Cucurella and Fernandez both have a word with Madueke after he lost the ball on the edge of the penalty area. I think it was the way that Madueke went down there on the edge of the box. But play continues. Lewis Skelly now. Lewis Skelly against James. Oh, good tackle from James. Comes up to the lap in the centre circle, then bounces down for James again. Marino's gone with him. Marino puts in the challenge, gets the ball, but I think the referee's brought it back for the challenge in the centre circle for a free kick to Chelsea.
Yeah, I don't know, why didn't he play it out to Garnacho on the far side there? He was in so much space. I don't think anyone gets the hand between going in from that wide area in towards the goal if the ball was played early. But James decided not to play the ball. It may well be that James is injured and had to stop, because they stayed down for a wee while. Or, when I say injured, exhausted. He does look a wee bit tired now.
I think the latter, don't you?
Pardon?
I think the latter.
Yeah, definitely.
He's on his feet now. He seems to be okay. And
Played well, though.
Oh, he has played well. He's been excellent all season, and for England as well. And the question's been asked by Maresca and Reece James, I think, with his hand, is saying no. Is he saying he's okay?
I think he looks as if he's saying he calmed down, but he's not very clear with his hand gestures.
No.
Is he?
Sort of beckoning to himself there.
Possibly, I'll tell you when I want to come off.
Okay. Well, Enzo Maresca wanted more character from Reece James. Did they say that last season? More personality, I think it was, that he said. From his captain, Cucurella. So it's 1-1. 08085 909 693 to join in on 606 tonight. If you've been at any of the matches up and down the country today, wins for Manchester United, Aston Villa, Brighton, big win for Liverpool, might be on your way back from that. Celtic as well, Rangers 0, Falkirk 0, Livingston 0, Aberdeen 1. And all of the Grand Prix reaction, by the way, on the Checkered Flag podcast, which you'll be able to find if you search the BBC Sounds app. Throw in to Delap. Arsenal are able to come out though with the ball from Delap, who is then fouling Timber, so that's a free kick to Arsenal. I don't know what the free kick count will be in this match, but I mean it must be challenging a record for the season.
It has been a bit testy.
It certainly has. Free kick is taken, and Hincapié is able to carry it forward towards the halfway line. We'll find out how serious the injury is for Saliba from Mikel Arteta. Hopefully hear from him during the course of 606, and Enzo Maresca as well. Gabriel Jesus is on the bench for Arsenal, so there's another one back after a long spell out since January, but still sitting on the bench.
John, you were asking before about the two centre-backs, how they're doing. Have a look at who's centre-backs at the moment. It's actually Lewis Skelly and it's Declan Rice. Yeah. It's weird.
Madueke now into the box on the right hand side to the byline, but I think he overran it before he got the cross in. He did. The flag's up on the far side, and they've enjoyed that, the Chelsea fans in the shed stand there closest to the Arsenal supporters.
He's not looked his best since he's come on. It's one of those ones, a cold day, mate. Not quite getting to the pace of the game so far. Going over to the right hand side there. Saka's come over to the left hand side to have a little bit of a go at Gusto.
Yeah. It's not often you see Saka coming over to the left.
Yeah, apart from the one time he got past or got a little half a yard, got the cross in, and Arsenal scored when Cucurella's had the better of it, so I'm always surprised they don't change it more often.
Chelsea, James is in again, wins an important tackle, and I think he was caught. Yes, he was, as the challenge came in, I think from Marino. So a free kick. That James is back on his feet, just uses the sleeve of his shirt to wipe his nose, and free kick to Chelsea.
Well, just in a slow motion here of Cucurella, once again rugby tackling. I mean, he has to be so careful. You're talking about the minute of free kicks.
Has he got special dispensation? Because he is on a yellow card.
Yeah, the number of free kicks he's given away, I'd love to know the number. I really would. It's got to be 8, 9.
In fact, I think I said that he was booked in the 11th minute, didn't I?
Yeah. And by the way, he could have been booked and should have been booked before that.
Before that, yeah. 1-1. Enzo Fernandez through towards the edge of the penalty area. Garnacho almost slipped over, gives it back to Enzo Fernandez, who might try and dance through, but Declan Rice in the D on the edge of the area was able to get a crucial touch on that and prevented him from doing what he was trying to. And then Gusto is in on the challenge on Lewis Skelly. Pedro Neto now. This is on the Chelsea right. Gusto goes for the early cross. I think it might be the wrong decision as Garnacho arrives there, but beyond the dead ball line. And it was already out for a goal kick. The stewards are already out in position. All of the photographers with their long lenses down there as well. The ones at that end thinking that they might capture the moment when Arsenal concede the goal that sees them beaten for only the second time this season. But it is level at 1-1, and we are now moving into the final minutes. 86th minute. Saka is back over towards the right hand side, but Madueke is still there as well, and Odegaard looks up, curls it in, left-footed. Sanchez comes, makes a comfortable catch, and then with both hands sort of passes it out basketball style down for Neto to run, and run he does. Neto is off, taking on Hincapié. to the edge of the area now, goes for the curler, went for the spectacular, but didn't have enough bend on it, and it was 2 or 3 yards wide.
We know what he was trying to do there, but Gusto, he just burst the gut, got wide of him, and there was a little slip ball in it would have put Gusto in 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. Neto goes for the far corner, and he's capable of doing it, but in this occasion, the wrong decision.
Yeah, Gusto with his energy. He is perfectly named sometimes, isn't he?
Yes.
As Rice, as Pat said, Rice is effectively in the middle of the 3 central defenders.
I asked that question before the game. Will he play right in front of the 2 centre-backs because they need a little bit of help? He's playing behind them. It's incredible.
3 minutes to go of the 90. Mosquera, Saka and Odegaard all very tight in there. Cross from Timber. Gyökeres bounces off him. Now the chance. Oh, good save from Sanchez, and then Gyökeres on the follow-up. Can't get there. Or Sanchez and Gyökeres got there at the same point, and Gyökeres was able to get something on that, and he's been hurt actually as the Arsenal man came in with the challenge. I think he had every right to go for that, although I think Anthony Taylor has got his yellow card out for Gyökeres. He has. The Arsenal striker is booked for that. He must feel that Sanchez had enough of the ball.
Well, to tell you the position that you will hear in Match of the Day, if Alan Shearer's on it, I think he has to go for that if you're a centre forward. The ball has come out quite some distance. You have to slide in towards it. We're going to see a little replay in front of us just now there. Good move by Arsenal, one of the best of the second half. Good save again, but it's there to be attacked. To be honest, yeah, the keeper's got hit there. But if your centre forward's not going to go and try and have a go at that, you're going to be asking questions about the centre forward.
Yeah,
Do you know what? That's a harsh yellow card for me. Very harsh yellow card.
Sanchez has made the very good save down to his left. He was slightly wrong-footed, then has to get up, dive, gets his gloves to the ball just as Gyökeres is going diving in.
Yeah, I give a foul, yeah, but a yellow card to striker for that, pretty tough.
I think Sanchez will be all right. I don't think there'll be too many worries about him.
No, you worry about any head injuries there, but he wasn't knocked in the head.
Although we've got a stoppage here, and both Mikel Arteta and Enzo Maresca, a little bit like Pep Guardiola yesterday with the timeout that Daniel Farke wasn't very happy about.
This was not a Donnarumma moment.
No, it was not. No. And we are now in the 89th minute, so we're entering that territory, Pat, that you warned everyone about. Matches like this very often produce something. The talent that there are out there, and as I've said, it's just had this feel.
Yeah, it's waiting for something to happen. Yeah, it's waiting for something. The negative to that is both teams look a little bit tired now, and maybe Arsenal have looked a bit jaded throughout the game. Not at the sparkling best, I would say, at any point in the game.
And after the week that they've had, is a draw at Chelsea. Would you take that, even though they've played against 10 men for such a long time? And for Chelsea at home against Arsenal with 10 men for over half the match, then similarly.
Absolutely. If you get a game where both teams would take a draw, it ends in a draw.
Yeah. And that wouldn't necessarily have been the case for Chelsea had it not been for the Caicedo sending off. Yeah. Now we've got the umpteenth stoppage of this match. It's Neto who is down in the centre circle, so Anthony Taylor has to come across. When they talk about the ideal thing for a referee is to not be noticed in a match. Well, Anthony Taylor has been right front and centre of this, because it's been you had to appoint one of the top referees to this match, because there was always the likelihood that it would be a very difficult game to referee. As Delap goes in, that's a foul on Miles Lewis-Skelly. Hincapié takes the free kick infield, and how many minutes of added time? 4 minutes of added time.
But I would underline him once again, I don't think Anthony Taylor's had a bad game.
No.
People say, it's been a bit scrappy, lots of fouls, lots of yellow cards. Yeah, well, I think the players may have something to do with that.
I'm not sure that's what the Chelsea supporters will be saying in the Chelsea pubs tonight, but there we are. That's the way it goes. So into added time we go. 4 minutes Lines open for 606 on 08085 909 693, and it's free to call from mobiles and landlines. Rice carrying the ball on, his cross to the edge of the penalty area, that's cleared away, but it's won back by Arsenal. Lewis Skelly against Neto, now Madueke against Gusto, back to Lewis Skelly inside the penalty area, then back out of the box to Hincapié. He curls it in left-footed, it's headed down by Saka but cleared away by Chalobah on the edge of the 6-yard box, and the flag must be up.
It was, and I think
kick.
Saka was well offside when he headed the ball in that far post. I'm trying to see if it was Saka. It might have actually been Timber, but definitely offside when the ball was played in.
Saka it was.
Yeah, a real kind of disappointment there that just for one moment Declan Rice strode forward from the centre back area and suddenly it looked a little bit better. I do have a suspicion that Rice might actually be carrying a little bit of injury just now because he's playing well within himself.
Arsenal home to Brentford on Wednesday night. All of those midweek matches, all of the top football covered on 5 Live. Chelsea 1, Arsenal 1. So I think it's not been what it might have been, this match, but it's been a London derby.
It has. I've played in plenty of derbies, like Chelsea v Spurs or Chelsea v Arsenal, and it can be like this. It can be very attritional.
Yeah. I think it's a London derby that Billy Bonds would have enjoyed. Here's Mosquera, forward of the centre circle. Already we are into the 3rd minute of added time, not long to go. Timber, one cross into the box via a deflection from Cucurella. Chelsea clear it downfield. Raya was underneath that and has sliced it, the ball almost up to our eye level, and Neto underneath it heads it straight out to Mikel Arteta. Throw-in taken by Hincapié to Lewis Skelly. A little bit of nervousness now from the Chelsea supporters. 10 men of Chelsea trying to see this out for a point against the leaders. Hincapié then to Madueke. Chelsea have got 2 men on him. Infield to Lewis Skelly. Lewis Skelly back to Madueke again in the right full-back position. Hincapié makes himself available, clips it across, took a flick off the head in the middle of Timber, who couldn't direct it on goal. Still, the ball is live. Saka, right-footed cross from him. Marino with a header, but it's over the top. Lands on the roof of the Chelsea net. It's bobbing around there now, that yellow ball. And Sanchez is in no hurry to get it down.
No, that was the chance. Oh, the 2 half chances, nothing much more than that there. Dink to the back post there, but Timber, he got up enough, and he got a little bit of a head on it, but I think he's in just slightly too early. Had he left it, Gyökeres was coming in behind and hammering in for a much, much clearer header. So that was probably the chance.
Yes, I think so. The 4 minutes are almost up, and these are the Chelsea fans that you can hear. So they've not beaten the leaders, but with Caicedo sent off before half-time, so Chelsea have had to play over half of this match with 10 men. That's why, when the final whistle goes, there was a roar like that. 1-1, a point apiece. Pat Nevin.
Yeah, I mean, for Arsenal, if you look at the week, it's been a good week. Beat Spurs, a draw with Chelsea away from home, and obviously the big one against Munich to win that one as well. Which with Chelsea, they've not lost again. They were down to 10 men. They fought and they battled and they didn't take a step back in this game, so they should be delighted. Was it a classic? Long way away from being a classic. Probably 3 or 4 games that were better than it yesterday. It tells you one thing, maybe we'll learn more about Arsenal. Was it going to be a cruise to the winning the league this season because they looked a lot stronger than everyone else after that? No, it's not. It's going to be a battle all the way.
Yeah, as you would have expected. But yeah, Chelsea, 7 matches unbeaten now. First draw since the first weekend of the season when they drew 0-0 with Crystal Palace. And for Arsenal, that's 2 away draws now in a row in the Premier League before the internationals against Sunderland and here at Chelsea. But 17 matches unbeaten for them as the Arsenal players just break away and go towards their supporters, led by Declan Rice, Mikel Arteta as well. So there we are. Final score here at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 1, Arsenal 1.
08085 909 693 606 on the way very shortly. In the end, Pat, Chelsea play over a half with 10 men. Arsenal get a point without those 2 first-choice centre-backs. Is this just both fine for both of the teams in the end?
I think it's more than fine for Chelsea. I really do. I mean, Chelsea have come a long way. I said before the game, there's been a maturity of this team, a maturing of this team over the past number of months. I mean, from the summer, and it's noticeable, and it's almost game on game on game. And you now walk away from playing against a very, very, very good Arsenal team with 10 men for the majority of the game, and not being particularly surprised that Chelsea hold out. And Chelsea went and attacked it and actually got the goal, and we're at 1 goal ahead. So Chelsea have come a long, long way. Worries for Arsenal? Yeah, they looked a bit jaded. You'll get that. Every team will get that for periods of time this season. It's how they come back from it, how they react to it. But I think they will be disappointed more than Chelsea today, and their fans will show that as well. Yeah, they're away from home, but against 10 men, they should have created more. They just didn't create enough, particularly in that second half.
And John, for neutrals, we enter December with 6 points separating the top 4. Not bad.
Yeah, not bad. You'd still want to be in Arsenal's position, certainly. And, there is that. I think it's important for Arsenal to, if you can't win the game, then certainly don't lose it from the position that they're in now. And I think it is understandable that there would be that jaded element. I've seen all 3 of these matches, commentated all 3 of them this week. They've put a monumental effort into the way that they beat Tottenham and the way that they beat Bayern Munich, and now have to come and play another London derby like this. I think it is exactly understandable, as Pat says.
Yeah. John, Pat, thank you both very much indeed. So Chelsea won, Arsenal won.